Welcome, friends, to a word of hope for Friday of the fourth week in Ordinary Time. Have you ever been rash or reckless in your promises to people, imprudent in your boastfulness, and then even compounded your foolishness in order to save face? I know I have. And that's the situation we find Herod in today in that familiar story of the beheading of John the Baptist. Of course, John was out preaching against Herod, marrying his brother Philip's wife, Herodias. Herodias holds a grudge. And Herod, in making this extravagant promise after a grand performance by Herodias' daughter at a major party, Herod says, "Whatever you want, you can have, even to the full extent of half of my kingdom." He lives to regret that and is distressed when Herodias' daughter comes back and says, "I want the head of John the Baptist." Now, secretly, Herod enjoyed hearing John. He was intrigued with John, even though he wasn't always appreciative of the message. It reminds me, friends, at times when we're confronted, when we're challenged, and we're offended on the surface, but deep down, we're drawn to the authenticity of the messenger. We even see the truthfulness of the message, even when it's directed to us. But we're having a hard time acknowledging what we know to be the truth publicly. And this is what happens to Herod. And instead of in that moment owning up in humility that John was right, or at least that a human life should not be the pawn in a game of revenge, Herod goes along to save face. How often have we done the same thing and not been truthful or humble to say, "You're right, I'm wrong"? We all have those situations in our life. They may seem great or they may seem small, but that's the moment when God's voice is trying to get through and have us own truthfully where perhaps our behavior has gone in the wrong direction. So let us show courage today in the truth, not to save face, not worried about the audience of the world publicly, but that most private audience that's the most important one in the world. That private audience that is our God. It's His opinion of us that means the most. God bless you. Have courage today in those things you need to confront about yourself.